Excited to have you on for another bonus episode with the Conversion Podcast. Today, this one's very cool because I feel like this is a classic series of experiments. So once again, please set the scene for us.
Cool. So today we're talking about a few experiments we ran with a former client of ours, and it was focused primarily around how do we use video or improve product comprehension. And the idea was using video to improve product comprehension at the outset. And what they sell is actually cell phone signal boosters, so a little bit more technically uh, difficult product and not a common product everyone's used to. So there's definitely that comprehension. How does this work? Um, Component of the customer journey, if you will. So what actually happened is they had this landing. What we're looking at here is their homepage, and they had this landing page that was performing quite well from a very specific campaign that they were running. And they came to us and said, "Hey, this is performing so great. What if we used components of this as our homepage?" Right? People seem to be engaging with it well. It's converting fairly well. So we did exactly that basically, and it changed a handful of things. We've got different headlines here. We've got different imagery. But one of the key things that it did is it made the how it works video very prominent on the homepage, sort of that secondary CTA next to the primary CTA in the hero. And the prospect was doing a great job of explaining our product to people. Maybe that's why it's performing so well on these paid landing pages. So we tested this out, clearly a cluster of changes. So also not your classic isolated experiment in pure form, but how did it do? So at the outset, kind of what we expected. We put a prominent video link right there in the hero. We get 150% increase in video views. And I should say an increase in video views because you may not notice it, but there is a small place where you can watch the video in the bottom right-hand corner of the controls hero area, making it much more prominent in the variation. We get our 150% increase in video views. Great. People are watching it, understanding how the product works. The asterisk is that it resulted in a greater than 10% decrease in sales. So a huge change in customer and user behaviors, but inversely related to really our ideal outcome, which is trying to drive more sales, more transactions and revenue for this business. So bit of a facepalm moment in terms of that idea originally, but it turned into a bit of an aha moment because if we connect the dots there that this huge change in user behavior is a 150% increase in video views correlates negatively with transactions, raises the question, where else might this be happening on our site? Are these videos actually not helping us, and where else are they? So now we can go and chase down some videos and find out, well, actually, we feature that exact same video on almost all of the primary product pages, front and center, who overlaid on the product image there on the PDPs. Is that actually hurting us? So we did almost the inverse strategy, where we take that learning from the loss on the homepage and take the video in the control there, that red button in the middle of your screen. We move it down to be a component of the image carousel, so people that do really want to watch it can still find it. And we replace it with just a static value proposition, which I believe is something like it's up to 32 times stronger cell phone signal or something like that for a product value proposition. Tested that against the control with the image. And we get, again, kind of the inverse, the expected result. We get a 30% decrease in video views, so a pretty significant change in user behavior, much fewer people watching the videos, but this time that correlation holds, but in the other direction. That 30% drag in video views results in a 35% increase in sales. So what was a loss on the homepage, which I love these examples, if we analyze it properly and understand the results effectively, can turn into a winner elsewhere when we apply those learnings and start to snowball them out. What I like about this is I don't want to tell the story that, hey, trying to improve product comprehension is a terrible strategy, because the crux of what we were trying to do was still important. And the few other examples I'll share here is that we still followed that path, right? And for a technically sort of intense product like this, we did still realize there's a lot of questions coming in from customers to customer service or in contact us or form submissions on the site. We had some examples here, the types of questions people were asking. There was still some product comprehension issues, people not sure if this works on all their carriers and all these sorts of things. We were able to take that data and still chase the product comprehension, just in different ways, more static components. We answered those questions and put them prominently in the hero that it works on all carriers. Strong, again, static value proposition, 23% increase in sales. Taking the how it works functionality, so really explaining step by step how to set up this product and how it actually achieves the benefits that we're communicating on the site, 6% increase in sales, communicating that information. So the product comprehension strategy was still important, but the way we had utilized it or tried to tackle it with video wasn't working in this instance. So again, sort of a hugely surprising result, that was born out of a losing test in a very prominent area that resulted in that snowball effect of multiple winners afterwards.
Yeah, I think this is a such a classic example of the power of iteration, and I think really even if something's losing, like really kind of leaning in and seeing that elasticity and seeing, okay, something is having an effect there. If we can just figure it out, maybe we can use that to our advantage. And then just again, like off the back of what you're showing, which is like just the compounding effects. And when we can uncover these things, then if we kind of can iterate the kind of like results and start compounding on themselves. So fascinating one. Classic. Definitely would highly encourage that every optimizer should be thinking about that type of experiment. You can almost apply it in every single circumstance over and over and over again. So very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.